All right, I'm just gonna come out and say it. What the F is going on with the Gen X generation? And I'm part of that, by the way. And let me just say that this stat that I just became aware of, I was watching a video from Azul Wells, who's a financial planner, great channel, by the way, and he had some staggering stats for Gen X. I'm Gen X, by the way. I'm 52 years old, all right? So this was the one stat that blew me away. And I believe it was a third of Gen Xers are just going to be relying on Social Security, which the average is $1,920 a month, and that's $23,040 a year, and that's before taxes, okay? So that's crazy. Now, what are we gonna do here? We have to live. And the other stat that he put out was that it's $58,000 on average for a 65-year-old to be living, okay, or to be paying for their expenses. Now, you can argue and say, well, we could get that down to $25,000 a year. If you have a family, if you have, maybe you didn't pay off your house yet, maybe you have cars. Now, again, Dave Ramsey's he's gonna get on you because he's gonna say you should have taken care of all that stuff, but what if you haven't? What if you're behind? Now, if you're watching this and you're like my age, you're like in your 50s, you still have time. Now, this isn't all bad news, by the way. I just needed to shoot this video because I want to help. All right, this is not me preaching by any stretch of the imagination. This is me just coming to you as a Gen Xer and wanting to help other Gen Xers that are out there that are maybe not even aware of this and maybe just been putting it off. But this right here, this side, there's options. All right, and I put here $40,000 right there because there's a gap. If they're saying that the living expenses are $58,000 a year when you turn 65, we have a $34,960 gap that needs to be filled in, right? Now, you could say, well, I can get my expenses down to where maybe I can do half of that. That's great. I'm just going off of the averages that was reported from Azul on his channel. Okay, and he did the research, all right? But this right here, we have options. We have options right here, and I'm gonna go through there. There's actually 4. This one here is my favorite. I call that the YRF, and technically this is what I'm doing, and you can earn up to, I say $100,000. I mean, it might be $20,000, it might be 50, it might be $250, but that's what I'm doing, and we'll cover all these, but there's options here. But that's what I wanna cover here in this video is I really want to go over this. This here is alarming. So this here, we have to work together and figure out a plan, all right? And this here can help you. So my first thing is if you are 50 years old, even 60 years old, and you're not going to retire, okay, start collecting Social Security. Because the way I look at retirement too, by the way, is I don't necessarily look at it and say, oh, you're retired, you're not going to be able to do anything anymore. No, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. I've been doing this online stuff for years, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep showing up on video. I'm going to keep helping people, and that's what I'm going to be doing. And I know that I'll be still earning money from that. But you have to ask yourself, if you're retired at 65 and you're going to collect Social Security, is there anything else that you can do? Or are you just not going to want to do anything? Now, most people still need a purpose. They need something to do. All right. Yes, you can say, I'm going to go golfing every day. Yeah, that will be fun for a while, and then you'll get bored, and then you'll be saying, what do I do? Like, I don't feel like I have a purpose. Like, we all need purpose. All right. We all need a reason to get up every single day. I know I'm going to get people in the comments who are like, screw you, Scott. I'm going to go golfing every day. That's what I want to do. Good for you. Okay. But there's other people out there that are, I'm not golfing, or, I don't have a lot of hobbies, or I want to have a purpose. Because a lot of times people are retiring not because they just want to go sit on the beach, although that's fun sometimes. They're doing it because they just don't want to report to people. They don't want to work at a corporate job, or they don't want to be pushed out of a job, or they're being mistreated, or they just don't want to show up to work and do something for pay, right? They want to do their own thing, and that's totally fine. But let's get into the options here, okay? So number one, if you're between 50 and 60 years old and you're watching this video, you still have time to save. So it's like, let's not forget that there's still time, all right? Now, is it going to amount to what we could be saved, or that we could have saved years before. No, we could have been saving for years and had $1 million in the bank, right? They're saying, like, right now, by the way, that you need $1 million. That's what Dave Ramsey's been saying for years. I don't know that I agree with that, but $1 million in the bank is what you need to retire. But even at that, if you pulled 4% on that money, that's only $40,000 a year. Yeah, that would fill in that gap, but you still need $1 million, right? So do you have time to get to $1 million? Probably not, but you do have ways to earn income when you're retired, okay? But right now, if that is the case, my recommendation, and I am not a financial advisor by any stretch of the imagination, but I would say try to get your expenses in check. That's what Azul says on his channel, is basically just get your expenses in check, right? Make sure that you're cutting costs where you can without having to eat beans and hot dogs every night, right? Still got to live. Like, I'm not a fan of like just making everything to where you have to save. You still got to live. But you have to be more conscious of like your expenses and then also saving. So if you can save, start saving. Okay, and I don't mean just save and throw it into a savings account, although that's fine. But I would probably invest it into some type of S&P 500, and you might need to talk to a financial advisor. But again, I'm not recommending anybody. I would go check out Azul's channel. I don't know him personally. I do consume his content, and it's pretty good. All right, so that's the first thing, is if you're between 50 and 60 years old, we still have time to save, right, and to invest. Okay, so if you are working on that in that job, start saving as much as you possibly can. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, and this goes for like right now, like this one right here, number 2. Let me get my little pointer here. Number 2 is a part-time job, right? Maybe you can do a part-time job right now to save more, or maybe if you are in that, I want to retire right now because I'm 65, and you are collecting the $1,920 per month in Social Security or around that, maybe you can get a part-time job. I see part-time job people in Lowe's and Home Depot, and I thought of myself, I'm like, I used to be a construction worker. I used to years ago. I don't do that anymore. I'm doing this. This is what I do full-time. I'm a full-time content creator for this channel. Yes, this is a smaller channel. This is my I'll get to that. This is my retirement project, but I basically have another channel that I've been helping e-commerce businesses for years, and I post content on YouTube, and I have ways that we monetize that turns into money, okay, into a living. But the part-time job, I thought to myself, I'm like, man, I could easily go work 20 hours a week at Lowe's and be one of those guys or girls, but I could be the guy that's in the window and door aisle, because that's what I used to do. And I can go in there and probably make, I don't know, $25 an hour. I don't know what they're paying, but let's just say $25 an hour. I could do that, and that could supplement my income, and it wouldn't be hard. It'd be easy because I know it. I've done it. I mean, you see the guy in the plumbing aisle. You go in there, you're looking for something. Hey, is something I can help you with? That's probably a guy that is, or that was in the plumbing field, and now he's in charge of that aisle, right? So you could totally do that. So I just want to share some of this stuff to get your wheels turning as far as like there is options that we can do. The other thing we can do is a side hustle. And that side hustle, maybe, and I've done this for years, maybe you're going to sell things on eBay. Maybe you are a woodworker and you're going to make wooden shelves and you're going to sell them on Etsy. There's a lot that you can do as a side hustle, as a little part-time side hustle even. It doesn't even have to be a full-out side hustle. Side hustle is technically like a part-time thing, but sometimes side hustle can turn into a full-time thing. But there's a lot that you can do there. You can sell, you can go to garage sales and you can flip items and sell them on eBay. I've done that before. So there's a lot that you can do as a side hustle. But my favorite way, and I'm going to explain why, is this one right here. And that is the online biz space. And I don't mean you're teaching online biz. I mean, you're basically doing the YRF. That's your YouTube Retirement Fund. And I have here $100,000 because I have done that myself personally through YouTube, but also there's a lot of opportunity if you follow the YouTube retirement fund model that I am doing. Now, this isn't one that's coined out there by anybody else. I kind of made it up myself. But the way that it works is you do exactly what I'm doing here today. I'm coming on here. I am trying to give it, not advice, but just recommendations or help in areas that I've already done things in. So in this case, like, yes, I've planned for retirement. Now, I'm not by all means like tomorrow I'm going to retire. Like, I feel like I'm actually retired because what I'm doing, this work, it's not really work to me. So to me, I look at it like I'm kind of retired already. I'm already doing what I want to do. It's like I don't wake up and go, oh, I got to go shoot another video tomorrow or today. I don't do that. I enjoy it. I enjoy helping people. And the crazy thing is if you're in a hobby niche, like I just did a video of a guy that is a beekeeper. He's been beekeeping now for over 16 years. And that little business that he has, beekeeping for YouTube, he basically turned that thing into at least $75,000 a year in business, or even more. I actually don't know his numbers because I don't know him, but I don't know him personally, but I do know on the average on what someone is earning from YouTube views, and he has courses that he's selling and things like that. By the way, this is something that I've been doing now for years. I've just coined it the YouTube retirement fund little strategy. It's a little business plan. I actually put this into a PDF. If you want a copy of it, just put 100K in the comments and I'll send it to you. Just put 100K in the comments and I'll send you, it's basically a little business plan that I put together that I'm actually using for this channel. All right. And the plan is for this channel is I'm going to continue to build it. And really what we're doing in the very beginning is we're building the audience, right? So you clicked on this video probably because you are a Gen Xer. All right. And now that you're sitting here with me, we're having a conversation in a sense. Yes, this is a one-sided conversation, although you can leave a comment. And then from there, we can have some dialogue. Okay. And then my next part of my little business plan, first is building the audience. The second part is then building the relationship. And the way that we do that is we show up and do more videos to help, but we also build an email list, which I kind of just did by sharing, hey, if you want that little business plan, put 100K in the comments. When you put that in the comments, you're going to notice that you're going to be directed to a page where you'll put your name and email address in to receive it, and then I'll send it to you. And then you have the option to either continue to get emails from me or you can just unsubscribe. But most people actually stay because I'm going to deliver more helpful content, and that's the goal. All right. And then from there, we can turn that into money by talking about products that we're using. Like right now, I'm using an Osmo 6 to hold up this camera. If you're wanting to get started on YouTube, you're probably going to want to know, Scott, what are you using? And I'm going to be like, I use the Osmo 6 to hold up my camera. And it's also pretty cool because it's a stabilizer as well. So I can kind of move it around and it glides really nice. They call it a gimbal. The one that I use is the Osmo 6. It's a DJI Osmo 6. If you would like to go check it out, in the description, I'm going to leave a link to the Osmo 6. And guess what? If you go through my link, you will basically tell Amazon that you came from me, and then they're going to pay me a small commission. That's how that works, right? So there's a lot of different ways. I go through it inside of that guide. I go through a lot of different ways that you can monetize the audience once you're building the YouTube side of things. But if you're thinking to yourself, well, this YouTube thing, Scott, that you're doing, I really think it's cool, but there's no way I'm going to be able to get on camera. And I'll tell you what, you can. Because, funny story, years ago, I couldn't even get through what I'm doing right now. I just kept starting and stopping. And my whole thing is now is just I hit the record button on that phone and I just go. And that's it, right? Because I've just kind of let it go that I know the people that I'm going to be connecting with, they're either going to like this or they're not. And you're always going to get negative comments. I will get negative comments on this video. I guarantee it. It's just the nature of the beast, and it's okay. But it just takes reps. And on this channel, I've already done some videos that help you with confidence on camera and things like that. So if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, you might want to do so because you'll get more useful information and content from me. But that's really what we're talking about here is we do have options, okay? And we can make a change, even if you are 64 years old. If you're 64 years old, you've got so much wisdom up here. Man, you have to start a YouTube channel. Start a YouTube channel and just start connecting with people in the niche that you want to talk to, right? If you are an ex-CPA, start a YouTube channel about CPA stuff. If you are a Jeep enthusiast, right, and you want to just talk about Jeep mods and I'm basically customizing them and things like that, start a channel on modifying Jeeps. If you're into muscle cars, start one on muscle cars, right? If you are an ex-mason, start one on masonry. Like, there's so many different things that you can do with the knowledge that you have already packed up in here. And now you can just have fun with it, enjoy it, connect with people, because that's the other thing too. Like, when you're retiring, you're going to want to connect with people. And now that we can do this online, it becomes so much easier. I have so many great conversations with people that I've met online. And a lot of it is through the content that I put out there. And I'm attracting the right audience. Imagine being able to get a group of people together, even locally, that all have the same interest. You guys are all into muscle cars. I mean, you see this all the time. Little car meetups, they have them in the parking lot of a coffee shop or, over at the mall, and they just meet up. It isn't even organized. They just meet up. You can do that online too. And the cool thing is then once you're kind of like, I don't want to say the leader, but you're the person that is organizing everything. You don't even have to be the expert. You can just be the person that's just learning and showing people what you're doing. Hey, I'm going to be, redoing this 73 Mustang, and I'm going to kind of take you through the whole rebuild, and I'm going to be documenting this entire thing. If you're into muscle cars and if you're into Mustangs, you're probably going to want to show up every week and see what the updates are. Right? So there's so much that we can do. If you want that guide, put 100K in the comments. It'll really walk you through the business plan that I've been using now for over 15 years. It's built multiple 6 and 7 figure businesses, and I am going to be doing this well into my 80s. I can tell you that right now, because I really feel like I'm retired right now, because I'm not doing something I don't want to do. And I honestly enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy helping people. But the big question a lot of people want to know is like, well, Scott, can you really do this without having a big audience? And the answer is yes. And my first channel, I made my first $12,000 in about 8 months from a small YouTube channel that only had 1,000 subscribers. If you want to hear that whole story, I'm going to put the video right here. Watch that video next. I'll share that story with you. And I think you'll enjoy it because, well, you can see you don't need a massive audience to make a decent living on YouTube. Watch that video next, and I'll see you there.